Hi, my name is Audra Wilson. I'm the Director of Diversity Education and Outreach and an adjunct professor at Northwestern University School of Law in Chicago. I used to be a welfare advocacy staff attorney with the Sargent Shriver National Center on Poverty Law, specializing in food stamps and food security, and TANF. I currently teach a course called Introduction to Poverty Law at Northwestern Law, and that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. The definition of poverty law is a bit broad, but the focus is specific. In general, poverty law studies how our society uses the law to impact the realities of existence of poor people in this country. As such, it encompasses many topics, including housing, healthcare, public benefits, family law, as well as studies key demographics, including women and children. It also addresses other important issues like the re-entry of ex-offenders into our society. So we have certain categories that we have decided over the years have been deserving of receipt of benefits. So for example, blind, deaf, and mentally incompetent are category 1, the first category of those that we determined who are deserving of receiving assistance. Then, after the passage of the Social Security Act of 1935, we added the elderly as being deemed a group of people who were deserving of receiving assistance if they could not help themselves. Later on, in 1956, we added the category of disabled. So those are another group of people who we have determined are okay and deserving of help if they so need it. Next, we added the working poor, which we'll define a little bit later, but the working poor with the enactment of the Earned Income Tax Credit in the 1970s. Yet another category of people that we decided could need help and we would be willing to give them help. And finally, children. Now this is an interesting category because logic would dictate that children who are completely dependent upon their parents should always be deemed deserving. And while in theory and in policy they are deserving, we've found as advocates that more often than not, the way we categorize their parents entirely depends upon whether we think children are deserving or undeserving.